What's up, guys? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Also, please smash that like button on the video and enjoy the show.
There was over 100 troops on board this oil platform, and that they had explosives on every pipe, and they were going to blow it as soon as we got on board, and it was just going to be this huge massacre. Anyway, as it would turn out, there was about 30 some Saddam Fedayeen guys. They did have explosives. They weren't rigged. The reason why they didn't blow it when we got on board is because they had nowhere to go, and they're like, we're not going to kill ourselves. We managed to get on board and captured all of them without killing any of them.
You captured all 16, you captured all 30, didn't kill any of them.
Right. So we did a little bit of that, and then Team 5 came over, and that was the most awkward turd in the punch bowl turnover party ever, because they were supposed to go to Iraq, and they were like, no, Team 3 still has enough time on their deployment to where you guys go to Guam and backfill them. We're sending them over. And they were like, you motherfuckers.
Fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, like, we almost got in fights during the turnover party, and it was fucking horrible. But so we go through Thailand, end up in Kuwait, and then spent the next couple of months.
Guys, if you'd like to join our Patreon by hitting the link in the description below, not only does it support our show and allow us to get great guests like this and put out more content, but you're going to get exclusive access to the Julian and Alessi show, which is the show we post only on Patreon. That's with my producer, Alessi Alaman, and I, as well as some behind-the-scenes content and some extra content with guests. So hit that link in the description below, and I hope to see you over there.
Getting ready to go into Iraq, and our first mission was the largest single special operations mission in U.S. history, and still is to this day, where we utilized the entire SEAL Team 3 on one mission, which was to take down the gas and oil platforms. There were two of them.
Where was this?
It was like 30 miles off the coast of Iraq. So there's a manifold and metering station that had like 30 miles of 48-inch pipes, like 4 of them, that were full of oil going from the metering station out to the terminals. That's where Saddam had been smuggling tankers and tankers of oil over the years. So the concern was that those pipelines were going to be blown up and flood the Gulf with all of that oil that was in the pipelines, and it was going to be a huge catastrophe. They wanted to avoid that, so they tasked us with taking down 2 oil rigs and the manifold and metering station all at the same time. So, 6.
Just Team 3.
Yeah. Every platoon at Team 3, we all did it at the exact same time and took it all down. And
how big is this?
It's like 1,600 yards long, 16 football fields.
How many people were guarding it?
About 30.
16 of you on 30 coming in from the water. Right?
Yeah. And
where do you drop in?
So we came up alongside via boat. You know, we had rehearsed, and we spent like a month, 6 weeks even, staked out, like made a replica the same size of the oil platform, and
oh wow,
and ran it just over and over and over. For me, that was one time where, you know, the amount of responsibility, and at that time, now I'm 23, still young, but you know, I'm the intel rep that's getting, you know, intelligence from the Army, from NSA, from CIA, from DIA, from Air Force, you name it, and trying to corroborate all these different intelligence sources about what we're going to face when we go on board there. And at one point, there was there were several reports that were all pretty corroborated or consistent, that there was over 100 troops on board this oil platform, and that they had explosives on every pipe, every 48-inch pipe, and they were going to blow it as soon as we got on board, and it was just going to be this huge fucking massacre. And we, you know, at that point, it's like, this is what I'm hearing, and so I'm having to relay this to our guys, and we had one guy that was like, at what point do we say we're not doing this? You know, and everybody's just like, never. Like, it's not up to us. Like, we're going if they tell us to go, even under these circumstances. And he ended up quitting. Which I talked about on Sean's show at depth, or in depth. But anyway, so as it would turn out, there was about 30 or so. There were a couple of Navy divers, Iraqi Navy divers. There were some Iraqi Republican Guard guys, some Saddam Fedayeen guys, which is like his mafia, his group of hitmen or whatever, and then a handful of workers. And they did have explosives. They weren't rigged. And the only reason we interrogated them afterwards, and the reason why they didn't blow it when we got on board, is because they had nowhere to go, and they're like, we're not going to kill ourselves.
Oh, so you didn't kill everyone before coming on board? You didn't snipe them?
No. In fact, we managed to get on board and captured all of them without killing any of them.
You captured all 16. You captured all 30. Didn't kill any of them.
Right. Yeah. The only shots we fired were myself and my buddy Shane breaching doors with a shotgun, which we shot.
What, they just white towel it? Like, what?
No, I mean, it wasn't even that. It was that we managed to get on board fast enough to where, most of them were sleeping. There were a couple that were awake that we just took them completely off guard. And there was basically zero resistance or almost none. And at that point, by the time we got on board and swept through and caught most of them sleeping, like, they were fucking terrified. I mean, there were guys crying and pissing and shitting themselves, and they were fucking terrified. Most of them. There were a few of them that were pissed, and were eyeballing us, like we were the devil and whatever. But we just got the jump on them, and we had practiced diving and coming up completely stealthy. We had practiced fast roping on from the top, and for us it was like the fastest way we can do it without giving the fact away that we're coming to do it, i.e. via helicopter, is to get on the little 10-meter ribs, the rigid hold inflatable boats, and just haul ass up alongside and board it quick and just flood the target really fast and take it down quick. So,
you zip tie all of them?
Yeah.
And then you brought them all back on the boat?
No, we left them there, took the whole thing down. We did. We did leave them there.
Sitting there like, fuck!
Yeah. We left them there, but we waited for the Marine Fast company to come, and then they had more in-depth interrogators and set up shop. And I don't know how long they stayed, but it took us about 7 hours or so to take the whole thing down. I mean, it was light by the time we were done taking it down, and then we jumped on another boat and went.
Wait, it took 7 hours to take the whole thing down, not including taking down the 30 though. That's pretty quick, no? Getting all 30 guys?
No, we got all 30 guys in probably 5 minutes.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
you're not lasting 7 hours trying to find, like, where are you, buddy? Like,
yeah. So the way that it's set up is, if you can imagine, it's like, imagine a 1,600 meter long row of scaffolding and railings and shit, where every couple 100 yards there's like a little guard shack looking station, and then there's different points at which tankers pull up next to, and then there's outlets from these pipes that they pipe the oil in. So the little stations are stations for the workers to onboard oil from those pipes, which is coming from the manifold metering station, i.e. mainland, onto the ships. So at one end is 3 or 4 tiered metal berthing and kitchens and housing and offices, and like all of the meat and potatoes was all in a building about the size of the building that we're in, like this whole building, so yeah, we flooded that and took it down really quick, and that's where all of them were. So, and
this is right before Operation Iraqi Freedom?
It was the start of it. It was like 2 days before we actually went across the border and went in country.
So is this like the first official mission of the Iraq War?
Yeah, we for
literally?
Sure kicked it off. Yeah, it was the first thing, so, which was kind of neat to be a part of.
Okay, now you then took part in the actual going across the border then too. So how'd that go down?
So we went back to the Kuwaiti Naval Base, which is where we launched from, and then we ran up to Ali Asalim Air Force Base and loaded all of our shit up. We stole a green Air Force Humvee and hand painted it tan. To the best of our abilities, just loaded down 4 Humvees with, we hung body armor in the doors. Like, none of them were armored with bulletproof anything. Put rockets and ammo and MREs and water and just fucking gypsy wagoned it up across the border into Nasiriyah. The Marines had gotten to Nasiriyah, and that was the first significant resistance that they had encountered, where they were really taking heavies. They had established a main supply route through Nasiriyah, and then it was eventually going to go up into Baghdad. But that's Nasiriyah at that time, which is in the southern part of the country, was kind of where the front lines were. Because I don't know if you remember, how old were you in 2003?
9,
so probably not. The way it was supposed to work was half of our forces were coming up through Kuwait, and the other half were coming through the Med, and we're going to come down through Turkey. They're going to meet in Baghdad, north-south sandwich Baghdad. Well, at the last minute, Turkey said, no, you can't use our country. Go fuck yourself. And so okay, well, we're just going to go south to north and sweep all the way through the country. And we used half of our forces that we had originally planned. And so we were on that southern front anyway. So at that time, Nasiriyah was kind of the front lines, if you will. So we haul ass up there, and then we stayed put for a few weeks running counter ambush operations, basically, where that was really cool.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.